Hi, I'm Angie Hilton and welcome to Unbreakable Entrepreneurs. As business owners, major challenges are inevitable. So how do we steel ourselves to weather the storms? Here, you'll find real-life stories of resilience, as well as tips from thought leaders and mental health experts on how to become unbreakable entrepreneurs.
In a time-poor world, Les Watson could just have the magic elixir. It's his book, Get Back an Hour in Every Day, and who couldn't do with that? For 30 years, Les has worked as a trainer, speaker and facilitator in self-management, motivation and communication techniques. And today, he opens up about the trials and tribulations of life and business and how he found balance and contentment.
Good morning, Les. You look so fresh and vibrant in your loft there.
Thanks, Angie. It's great to be here.
Now, Les is from let me get it right because I'll say it wrong, Creating Success Coaching and Get More Time. And I've heard that you're called the Time Lord. Is that correct?
I'm referred to as the Time Lord, yes. I don't have a TARDIS. I do have a scarf and I don't have a sonic screwdriver, but it's all about time and productivity. How's that?
Amazing. And who can't do with more time? I tell you, my biggest hurdle in life, I think, is time management. So I'm particularly excited about our chat today. Now, for those who don't already know you, can you just give us a brief overview of everything you're doing in this world?
All right. Let's do Get More Time first,
Yep.
Which is productivity and time management. And it looks at how I can give you back an hour a day, whether that's on a personal level as an ordinary person going through life going, I've got too much to do and not enough time to do it in, from a CEO level, and there's enough stress and strain on a CEO in that regard, all the way down to people who in business go, I need this for my team. They need to be more effective and have more output, not get more widgets done, but take the stress off the productivity aspect. So that's Get More Time. Mm-hmm. And then you've got Creating Success Coaching, which I've had coaching in my life and been able to be a coach for 30 years. However, during COVID, it's that pivot of what's in your hand and what can be put online. And my coaching was one of those things. So I went, I'm going to put it online. It was hugely successful. People loved it. And then from there, it's just gone from strength to strength. I've got group coaching, I've got individual coaching, I've got 97 videos in a program, and people like it because it's simple, it's down to earth, and it's really bite-sized chunks to go forward in your business, in your small business.
Mm-hmm. So what was your background in terms of getting into these businesses? Did you start off in your own business separate to this?
Let's go way back. I'm a Tasmanian. Do not hold that against me.
Wouldn't do that.
I came out of Tassie, went to Sydney and spent 30 years in Sydney and really ended up in personal development, in running seminars, and then starting my own company in sales and customer service and time management, and learning in that time what made me tick. So if I was able to learn what made me tick, I was then able to bring that into other people's lives, whether it's through coaching or training, to enable them to be more effective in their life. And that could be in business or personal. And it enabled me to have a business in Sydney that was bubbling along. It was very interesting time of what I would deem doing it on my own, Angie. Mm-hmm. Doing it on my own. Do you relate? Do you ever know anybody that tries to do it on their own?
I tend to do a lot of my 10 different jobs on my own, but I don't know that I do them well, and that's where you come in. So you did it on your own, but did it well, or did you go through some tricky times as well?
It's the reason why I brought it up, because I thought I was doing fine. No, it's just powering along. And then I kind of hit a very big wall when the tax department rang me and said, Les, you owe us X amount. And I've gone, ouch. And it was quite a slap. And I knew it was coming, but I didn't want to realize it. And let me just go back one step. The reason I got to be in the quandary that I was in was because I was trying to do it on my own. I had no support. I had no one around me that was able to talk me through the pitfalls. No one that could speak into my life and go, Les, what about this? Are you taking care of this? Are you keeping an eye on this area in your business? And as I started to go down the slippery slope of not being able to cope, I just buried my head in the sand and really just rode the company into the ground. And I ended up closing that business down. And it was painful. It was one of the most painful parts of my life, where I have a trainer's heart. I want to help people. And I was asked to close the business down, and I've gone, the choice, yep, I think I need to do it. And my wife said, you need to go back and do your first love, which was in hospitality. And it's like, no, I've got status. I've got all of that. I was like, why do I need, no? And I went back and I just humbled myself, and I went back to being a corporate waiter. I really went back to those roots of, because I'm a qualified waiter by trade, and went back into hospitality and let go of it. I just literally laid it down. And at one point I was never going to go back. And that's where the chamber came in, because I was working at the Geelong Chamber of Commerce in small business, smart business with Liz Grant. And Liz turned to me, she said, you need to start another company. And I went, no, Lizzie,
Been there, done that.
That hurts. Too soon, Liz. And she actually turned to me and said, no, people need what you've got in and around the region. So can you please contemplate the possibility of it? And I went, oh, okay. And slowly but surely put the pieces together. And that's where Get More Time came into being, and Creating Success Coaching was the COVID pivot.
So the gap between finishing your business and starting a new one, how long was that? And how did you handle your mental health through that period?
Great question. I think it's around 8 years or thereabouts, maybe 7 years. It was years. And how did I cope? Similarly to the previous one of not doing it alone. And one of the models that I have in my business is an ESI model to make it easy. So we could take it into mental health. Create your mental health easy by external action. What are you going to do about it? Internal focus. What are you saying to yourself? And the S stands for support. So I was able to get people around me to support me in the journey of, no, it's okay, and there's life after having your business. Now, in amongst all of that, my wife's health also went downhill. So I was able to look after her. And people often said to me, your wife is really struggling. Are you okay? And I had enough people around me to support me in that process, as opposed to, again, doing it on my own. I'd learned that lesson. I'm not doing it alone again. So I was able to continually check in with other people and be around other people, and not bury my head in the sand, and have people to chat to and have coffee with and have lunch with and just take walks with. Why? Because it was good for me. It was good for my relationship. It kind of saved me. It definitely assisted in me being able to be there for my wife.
And I think it sounds like when you're a natural giver, it's very hard to put your hand up and say, I need something back. It doesn't feel natural. But then once you start to accept help from others, or speaking from personal experience, then you realize when you're feeling stronger again, then you've got a lot more to give back to them. So it all comes back, doesn't it?
They often say you can't give out of an empty cup. And us as givers, we want to give. And the people often look at the cup and say, is the cup half full or half empty? And I go, actually, mine's overflowing, because I've got to give out, but I've got to look after myself to be able to give out. So part of that, I've got 12 modules in the Creating Success program, and one of them is specifically designed around self-care. and how you look after yourself, because you can't take care of others unless you take care of yourself. The old airline adage of, if the mask falls from the ceiling, put your mask on first before assisting others. Why? Because you can't help others if you're lacking oxygen. And it's a great example of, if you're wanting to help others in the community or in business or in your family or in your relationship, can you look after yourself first? And that's just one of those things I had to learn. I had to look after me so I can then pour out to others.
Yes. So at the worst, how hard did it get for you?
You ask the best questions.
You don't have to answer any of them either, Les. You can tell me, nope, not going there.
I am an open book. How deep did it get? I created for myself a stress-induced, it wasn't an emotional breakdown, but it was like carer's fatigue. And I actually took an EAP from a couple of the clients that were around that I was working with, and I went, I don't need this, but I took the card anyway. So employee assistance program, and I took the card and I went, oh, maybe I should ring somebody about this emotion that's going on that I have no idea why I'm being emotional. I don't understand it. So I rang someone, and again, completely anonymous. I just need to talk to someone, talk through my process. And I got through what I believe to be my story. And the person came out the other, she said, you've got carer's fatigue. Now, I didn't necessarily agree with the carer's fatigue, but if you just take the label off it and go, you are fatigued in the position, you need to start looking after yourself. It was a great wake-up call. And even my wife, in one of the doctor's appointments, it was my doctor's appointment and she was with me, she turned to the doctor and said, could my illness have brought on his high blood pressure? And the doctor went, yes. And she turned to me, she said, it's time to look after yourself, because I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me, I'm fine. So she's on the mend, she's really good. So it was a thing of, how do I look after myself? So walks on the beach, massages, baths, going for a swim, looking after me, looking after Leslie. And that's hard for blokes. It's like, no, I'm the caregiver, I'm the breadwinner, I'm the bloke. It's like, yeah. And good luck with that, because you end up with stress-induced illnesses. And my wife and I have a thing called, your independence is making you sick.
Yeah, right.
And I really like it, because so many people, it's like, no, I can do it myself. And I go, no, you can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's knowing when to take those steps and speak up and ask, isn't it? It's just watching your own stress levels and being really aware of when it's all getting too much and nipping it in the bud, really, isn't it, Liz?
Yeah, very much so. And with the circles that we are in Geelong, and particularly around Chamber, there's a badge of honour. There's a badge of honour in networking. How's things? Busy? Oh, I'm busy. I was like, well, one thing is busy. Another thing is, are you busy, but are you productive? And then on the other hand is your busyness creating any illness or sickness in your life? Because sometimes we can run ourselves into the ground by being busy. So are you taking the holidays? Now, I was telling you in a previous get together, Angie, that I've got on my board is my next holiday. Why? Because we don't take holidays. We just don't. But this year we are taking a holiday. We're going to go back to Sydney. We're going to stay in the city. Why? And it'll be good for us, because it's that just stop, get away, don't have any expectation, and look after me and my wife in the city that we love.
Yep. And having that thing to look forward to. We all need that, don't we? Now,
what do we say it, Angie? What's that thing in the back pocket that you're looking
yes,
forward
this is
to?
Kate Meadows' back pocket optimism. Two things in your back pocket. So it's so important. So no, that's a rip up. Now I want to know, how do I get more time? Have you got any simple strategies for us?
I put it down to two things: leadership and discipline. So a lot of us kind of push the leadership aside and go, oh no, I'll just meander. I'll just go through as a meander. And I'm going, how's that going for you? Is that working for you? So make decisions. And one of the easiest ones is around prioritization. Classify them as A's or B's. A's are those things that if they don't get done, the brown smelly stuff hits the round twirly thing. And no one wants the shit to hit the fan. So based on that, you get them done. Like get them done early, get them done, get them out of the road. Those things, if they don't get done, you'll lose money, lose a client, lose a contract, lose reputation. So they're the A's, and get them done and get them done early. Have you ever had, Angie, that situation where you put your head on the pillow at the end of the day and you go, that was a great day. And then you go, wait a minute, I haven't paid that bill. And I've got to get up and I've got to go to the tablet or go to the phone or go to the computer and pay the bill. Because if you don't pay the bill, it costs you an extra $150.
Yep.
and that's at the end of the day. Now, really easy one on that, get it done in the beginning of the day. You're going to have to pay the money anyway. So put it on a list and get it done, get it out of the road. So leadership, are you the leader of your life? Can you make decisions? And can you make decisions faster? Angie, you didn't get to be in the position that you are by making bad decisions. So back yourself and do more of what you've done previously and just go, no, I can do this. And the majority of times, 99% of the time, you'll make good decisions. And the ones that you don't, you learn from and move on. Because making mistakes is all about learning and then moving on, as opposed to falling over and going, nobody loves me, everybody hates me, I think I'll go and eat worms. No, just learn from it. Second half is discipline. Do the things that you say you're going to do. Do them as they come up. Don't leave things undone. Otherwise, you end up with these things called incompletions. And I do a process with people and I say, what's on your mind, and get it out of your mind down onto paper. And when I do it with people, I take them through a list of words that trigger those incompletions. And when it's out of your head into paper, the first thing that they say is, I never knew I had so much in my head. The second one, now I'm in overwhelm. And I go, well, actually, it was already there. All I did was bring it to the front and make you aware of it. So now that it's on paper, let's do something with it. So they're able to put it into deleted things called, no, I'm never going to do that, or 2-minute jobs, single action items, projects, or someday maybe. And again, that's a topic for another time. But those getting clarity, getting it out of your head down onto paper really brings a sense of freedom to go, wow, I'm clear on what I need to do now.
Yes. So, I mean, this is awesome. So without giving away all your content, because people can come and see you for that, but in a nutshell, you'd be starting your day with writing your list and maybe a brain dump to just see what's going on in here so that I can get a bit of space and move forward with clarity. Yep. Is that right?
And now let's just go there, because you opened the door. In regards to wellness, in regards to mental health, how do you get good sleep? How do you get good sleep? So let me give you a tip. You just said do a brain dump, get it out of your head down onto paper. Sometimes we put our head on the pillow at the end of the day and it's still racing. And it goes on and on and on and on. Rather than that, prior to it, like about an hour previously, just write down what are the things on your mind regarding your business, regarding your life, regarding your relationships, and get it out of your head down onto paper and go, okay, what are the next actions I can do with that tomorrow? And once you've written it down as this is on my mind and this is the action, wait a minute, there's nothing else. Great. And then go to bed. Because as it comes up, if you have a pen and a piece of paper, oh, I didn't think of that one, write it down and go to bed, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because most people can't get good enough sleep because they've got all of this stuff going on in their mind around what I need to do tomorrow, what I need to do tomorrow, and a worrying thought of, if I don't put it in, if I don't think about it now, I'll forget it tomorrow. Yes. But by getting it out of your head, down onto paper, and doing an action with it, I'll handle that tomorrow, is actually telling yourself, that's okay, you can go to sleep, we'll handle it tomorrow.
Yes, we've got it covered. I like it. And now talk to me about success coaching. Like, I know there'd be a whole lot to it, but what are a couple of tips that you could give our listeners today?
It is particularly for small business owners. So you're looking at how are you across all aspects of your business. So what I have is an audit, and if at the end we'll give a website people can go to, and there's some freebies on the website, and you can just pop your name and address in there, and I'll be in touch or do a download, and I can give those to you. But the first one is an audit. Have you ever taken the time to step back from your business and see where you're at? So there's a questionnaire that I can take you through. I have a one-page plan that I take people through. So that audit is really important, even down to what's your level of satisfaction around your own personal life and what's your level of satisfaction around the areas in your business. So by taking the step back, as someone once said, working on your business, not in your business, taking the step back and really checking in, that audit process gives great clarity. And with clarity comes power to take an action and make a difference.
I like it. Very good. And what's on the horizon for you, Les, personally?
Personally, well, business-wise is great. I really enjoy working with the small business that I'm working with. I only just got off the phone with a lady who said, I'm in. So another one's coming into the program. So there's a rolling enrollment into the program. And I'm excited about that because I get to help. From the 30 plus years of being in business, I am able to take that based on the gray hairs that I have and go, here are the lessons that I've learned. Take it from me. These are the things you need to look at. So there's that. I'm on a personal level, I'm probably the fittest I've ever been. I'm swimming 2 to 3 times a week and for a couple of kilometers in the pool, and I'm riding my bike for an hour and a half to 2 hours a session. So it really is I probably do between an hour and 2 hours of exercise every day, and it's really working for me. I'm getting a great night's sleep, and my productivity is really up there by looking after myself first, so I can then do something about it.
Wouldn't it be good if we could all just take you've been through the hard time, you had to hit rock bottom to then learn all these things, but a lot of us have to hit that point for ourselves to learn all the things we need to implement, don't we?
Yeah, and it is a thing of where have we seen these keys, and where have we heard these messages, and where have we read them? So from the lessons given, have we actually taken them and done something about it? And that's why I always say to people, don't listen to these podcasts and go, that was really nice. Listen to the podcast and go, I'm going to get in touch. I'm going to take him up on his offer of a free 15 minutes, that sort of thing, because it's available to. It's like, oh, he reminded me I should do a brain dump. Then take it and do it, because good ideas are worth nothing if you don't take action on them. And speaking of good ideas, I've got my book, Get Back an Hour in Every Day, and it's like a coffee table book where you pick it up and it's got great quotes on one side, and it's got the A to Z on the other side. So you can actually pick it up and go, procrastination, I'm going to look at that. Motivation, I'm going to look at that. Lists, I'm going to look at that. So it's a really good book to just go, I'm having an issue with meetings, and there's a chapter on meetings. So it's a really, really simple book to be able to take you forward. Wonderful.
And where can people find it?
Getmoretime.com.au. So that's the website, getmoretime.com.au. And for anybody who wants to take some of the freebies or have some of the freebies, it's getmoretime.com.au/podcast. So not that I have a podcast, that's coming. It is coming. It will be around the corner. But just at the moment, it's on podcast. You put in your details, and there's some freebies on there. So happy to give some stuff away.
Fantastic. Everyone loves a freebie. I'll be on
Indeed.
there, Liz. Now tell me, do you have a mantra that you live by?
I have a personal set of values and a purpose. And my purpose was around bringing life. And the thing that goes with that is if it's not easy, I'm not doing it. And that sounds really flippant, but sometimes you need to take the signals that you're struggling. I was struggling in areas I shouldn't have been struggling in. So therefore, come off that road and get on to what's easy, because you're out of your lane, Les. And if it's not easy, I shouldn't be doing it. So that mantra and that thing of ESI, how to make my life easy, what action can I, external action, what support can I garner, and what's my internal focus. So it's all around making life easy.
I like that. I've heard someone say as well, when you're trying to make decisions about taking steps in different directions and where the doors open, follow that thread all the time of the easy option, I guess that is.
Yeah, very much so. And it's like, look for the open doors and be cognizant of the closed doors, because if doors aren't closed, some people say bash them over and bash them in. And I go, well, maybe it's closed for a reason. Maybe you just need to move on.
Absolutely. And now your quick favorite business tip off the top of your head?
Take action. It's like, have some thought about it. Don't do be stuck in the procrastination. Have the thought and then do. Think, then do. Think, then do. Don't just do planning, do action on the back end of it. And people get stuck in their thinking process and run out of time. So don't just do action for action's sake, because that's silly. But have some thought, do an action. Have some thought, do an action, which is similar to what we were saying before. Don't just listen to the podcast, follow it up with some action.
Love it. And one last thing, if you were to have 3 favorite inspirational people, living or past, over to your house for Sunday barbie, who are they going to be?
Oh, yes, great question. I like it. There's so many. Christian, so I'd have Christ, I'd have Jesus over and ask him all the big questions. Yeah. So all the big faith questions that
Love
people
it.
go, yeah, but what about this and what about that? So yeah. I'd have that one. There are a couple of American football coaches, and there are a couple that stand out. I don't have his name at the moment, and it's just gone from me. But there's some around the Green Bay Packers. But their ability to go from nothing to something, I would have that. And for a third one, I would go with Kerry Newhoff. He's a leadership presenter. And he's got a podcast and does leadership, and he's just brilliant. So I'd have Kerry, and again, people can look him up. I really like him. I think he's very clear in his message, and I'd have him over for dinner.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty fun party. I want to come to that barbecue. And would you be cooking? Can you cook?
My wife goes, get in the kitchen, but I'm not a great cook, and I do cook. I'm just not. It's not my first skill. So can I do a good fettuccine carbonara? Yes, and I do some amazing baked potatoes. I can tell you, my baked potatoes are legendary.
Oh my goodness, sounds delightful. All right, well, it's been so good to chat to you, Les, and everyone can find you at the website. We'll put at the end of the show notes as well. Just remind us what it was again.
Getmoretime.com.au, and for the freebies, getmoretime.com.au/podcast.
Love it. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again soon,
Angie.
at the next chamber meeting.
Okay. All righty, bye.
See ya.
I'm Angie Hilton, and thanks for listening to Unbreakable Entrepreneurs Podcast. If you've enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe and head to geelongchamber.com.au for more wellbeing tips. This has been brought to you by the Geelong Chamber of Commerce and the Partners in Wellbeing program.